Google Play has always been a little bit looser with their applications, so they allow their developers to submit things a lot easier than the Apple App Store does. Now, recently they've cracked down a little bit more on it, but I was reading an article this week about a new investigation that uncovered a sophisticated ad fraud scheme
Oh,
involving more than 125 Android apps and websites. Some of them were targeted at kids. So last April, this reporter received an email from somebody named Natalie Andrea, who said she worked for a company that purchases apps. She wanted to buy his Android app. And so this reporter had like an emoji switcher app. So right away, something felt a little bit off. He did a little bit of digging around because when he looked on the website, the company didn't even really exist. It was just a house address on the
mm,
Google Play Store. And then after that, it looked like it was based in Cyprus in Europe. So everything just seemed a little bit strange, and their phone number was British. So it was all over the place. Um, so then when he reached out and to BuzzFeed to investigate a little bit further, they found out they were actually ripping people off of millions of dollars with these 125 apps from the App Store, the Google Play App Store. So this is massive and this is huge. And there's a couple things about Google and Android that are a little bit different than Apple and the App Store. So for our podcast listeners, if you've got an Apple phone, when you download an app, typically Apple really looks into the company that's making these apps. They make sure that it runs well. I'm a game developer myself, and they had people playing my game for hours and taking screenshots before they even approved it for the App Store. Google Play, it's a little more overwhelming for them. They have more users. They're not quite as sophisticated. Um, and so you can get away with releasing a lot of things easier on the Google Play Store. Not only that, but with Android, you can actually download Android apps from any website without it going through the Google Play Store. So that opens up vulnerabilities. Now, I
that's the
think this
most
is,
sketchy way to get your apps is
yeah,
side loading is the term that it's called.
and Fortnite's kind of doing that, but they're a little more reputable.
Yeah.
But the thing about this is, they're going and they're attacking kids because they know that parents aren't really supervising their kids when they're on their phone.
Mhm.
A lot of parents, I see it all the time, they give their kids tablets, they give their kids phones, and they say, here, play with this. And unbeknownst to them, their kids are downloading these games off of the Google Play Store that look fun. And it turns out 125 of those games have malware that are actually racking up millions of dollars. And it's pretty clever. I was reading through how they did it. What they did was they kind of made it seem like the kids were looking at Google advertisements. So really, it looked like it was ripping off
Mm.
Google. But this is just a warning out there that when you download apps, instead of just clicking on anything, make sure it's reputable. Make sure there's an app as well on the Apple App Store because that one's going to be well vetted. So watch out for.
Absolutely. So, how were they getting money? Were they just convincing kids to download other apps? Like, how did the malware um, collect money?
Yeah, it says here that for a significant portion of the millions of Android owners who downloaded these apps, they were secretly tracked as they scrolled and clicked inside the application. So by copying actual user behavior in the apps, the fraudsters were able to generate fake traffic that bypassed major fraud detective systems. So it sounds to me like it was just kind of showing advertisements for Google, probably seeming like they were the actual user, the actual patron of the game, when really it was fraudsters in the background. I think it was probably with advertisements with Google.